What's up, everybody? It's OC Motor back at you with another one on Chris Got Games. And today, I'm sure you're wondering what we're going to be talking about. But before we get started, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share with friends, comment down below, hit the dislike if you want to. But yeah, without further ado, it got to the point once in a while where I felt like I was debating if it was worth doing this YouTube video game thing or not. And then miracle coincidences keep happening that tells me that it's worth it. So earlier last month, I in the great state of Minnesota, just to prove that retro collecting is not dead, you just have to know where to go. I found out about this place called Punch-Out Gaming a while ago, and I called them because I was specifically on the hunt for Sega Saturn games. And I was like, do you have any Sega Saturn games? And they were like, yeah, we have a few. And they didn't have some of the titles I wanted, but one of the titles, they were like, we have Wipeout. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And Wipeout was one I didn't have for my collection. And I just like the fact that I was able to find a place to where I could get a Sega Saturn game out in the wild. Because that's almost impossible to do now, unless it's like Daytona USA or some common sports title. You don't see Sega Saturn games out in the wild. So I said, okay, I'm going to go out to Punch-Out here and check this out. So check it out. So I went out and I got Wipeout for the Sega Saturn. And it's complete. So, yeah, I got Wipeout and I was super happy to add this to the collection. And then, so, coincidentally enough, I go to East 7th Best Pawn because I've always told you about West 7th Best Pawn in a couple of my videos of where I got some stuff from. So I go to East 7th Best Pawn and I'm looking at their video games, and they had some PSP stuff. And nothing stuck out to me in the PSP section. They just had some random UMDs and a couple of games I wasn't interested in. But one game that they did have at East 7th Best Pawn, out of all the games they could have had for the PSP, the one game they did have was Wipeout. They had Wipeout Pier for the PSP. And it's also complete. And so I thought that was funny, the coincidence that I go to Punch-Out Gaming and the game that I get for Sega Saturn is Wipeout. And then I randomly go to this pawn shop on the east side, and they got PSP stuff. And the one PSP game that I decided to get that they actually had that I didn't have coincidentally happened to be Wipeout. So if that's not coincidence enough for you, so then the other day I went to Pawn America on Robert in West St. Paul, and I've been telling you about this Pawn America. And so I've been buying video games from there for a while. And I was snooping around, and, they didn't have nothing that caught my eye. But they did have one PS Vita game. And you just don't see PS Vita games in the wild, And out of all the hundreds of games and movies and stuff that they had in this pawn shop, they only had one PS Vita game. And coincidentally, that PS Vita game was Wipeout 2048. So I went to Punch-Out Gaming and I get Wipeout for the Sega Saturn. Then, and that was like one of the only Sega Saturn games they had that I didn't have. And then I go to East 7th Best Pawn and I'm looking at their PSP stuff, and the only actual like game that they had for the PSP out of all the other PSP stuff they could have had was Wipeout. And then I go to Pawn America and I'm looking around and they only have one PS Vita game. And the PS Vita game happened to be Wipeout 2048. And it's also complete. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this like 1 in a million coincidence that happened to me. And I just think that that's a weird coincidence that happened like that. And if I would have been in any other state besides Minnesota, this would have never happened. And what I just showed you there just proves to you that you can still retro game hunt in 2022. You just got to know where to go. I got a couple online sites that I'm not going to plug for the sake of I like to keep them secret so I can get the deals. But there's sites and different places out there where you can get retro games. Don't let these YouTubers fool you saying retro game collecting is dead because of prices. I mean, maybe if you want something like Earthbound or, you know, a $300 game, then yeah, retro game collecting is dead. But I just proved to you there that I found 3 retro games at 3 different places, and you can still do this. And you know, that kind of shot confidence back in me that I'm doing this for the right reasons, because that's a 1 in a trillion coincidence, and that'll never happen again to anybody. 1 in a trillion coincidence that I went to these 3 different places, and the 3 games they ended up having was Wipeout for 3 different consoles. I just think that's crazy and was worthy of making a video for. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. OC Motor back at you with another one on Chris Got Games. Peace.